Welcome. Today we'll see about the data frames, the data type data frames. Okay. For better understanding of the video, you can see the video in your laptop and you can install RStudio in your laptop. Try the commands one by one on your laptop so you can slowly learn R programming without any difficulty by watching this video. So data frame is another type of data type in R programming. It is similar to a table. That is, a table consists of rows and column. Similar to that, data frames also consists of rows and column. Okay. Let us see it one by one with examples. We will understand better. Say suppose I am creating a vector A, which is a vector of numbers. So then I am creating another vector B, which is a vector of characters. Then I am creating a vector D, which is a vector of Boolean data type. So now I can combine these two variables, that is these two A, B and D, these three variables inside a data frame. That is, data frame is similar to a table as I told you. So I can use the function data.frame to create a data frame. Okay. So this data frame is going to take A, B and D as the input. That is, it is going to have the first column as numbers, second column as character and third column as Boolean variable. See, now you can see the results. I am running this and I'm displaying df1. I'm displaying df1, which is the data frame. See here you can see three columns in the data frame df1. The first column is A, second column is B and the third column is D. The first column is having the numbers 1, 2 and 3 and the second column B is having the characters A, B and C and the third column D is having the values true, false and true. Okay. So this is a simple data frame. I hope it is understood what is a data frame initially. Okay. So a data frame has 3 rows. This data frame is having 3 rows and this 1, 2, 3 is the number of the rows and the name of the columns are A, B and D. So this data frame 1, df1, we are going to give the row names as 1, 2 and 3 instead of A, B and D. So earlier the names of the columns the names of the columns are A, B and D. We are going to change the names of the rows. Earlier the names of the rows were 1, 2 and 3. So that we are going to change it as characters 1, 2 and 3. So that's what we are doing here by using row.names function. So now if you display df1, you can see the row numbers are changed to 1, 2 and 3. The row numbers are changed to the characters 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So this is the use of using the row.names function in the data frame. So suppose if you are giving row names of df1, it will show you the names, that is 1, 2 and 3 are the names of the rows. And similarly if you are using call names of df1, so call names is a function which will give you the names of the columns of the data frame. So A, B and D are the names of the columns of the data frame, and the dim names will give you both row and column names. The first dimension is the row 1, 2 and 3 and the second dimension is the column A, B and D. So, and if you want to see the number of rows in the data frame, you can use n row of the data frame name. It is going to give you 3 because there are 3 rows, and similarly n call function will give you the number of columns in the data frame, and this dim of df1 will give you the dimension of the data frame, that is 3 rows and 3 columns. So only it is showing 3, 3. the length of the data frame, if we see, it is 3. So the length is nothing but the number of rows of the data frame. So, and similarly, call names will give you the names of the columns in the data frame, that is A, B and D. Okay. So far we have seen how to declare a data frame using data.frame function, and how to use row.names function to give the names for the rows of the data frame, and how to use the row names function, call names function, dim names function, end row function, end column function, dim function and length function. Okay. So next let's see another data frame df3, so which has two columns. The first column name is called as bad call, and the second column name is some combination of special characters. The first column has the values 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that is what is given within this 1 is to 5. And the second column, all the rows will have the values A. So totally this data frame will have 5 rows and 2 columns. So let us see this. So I have executed this. So now if I'm displaying this data frame df3, you can see 2 columns. One is the bad call and the next one is another column which is a combination of the special characters. So there are 5 rows in this. The values are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and all the values of the second column are A. So this is how you can create a repeated data frame by giving the values within the vectors. Okay, so next we are going to see some inbuilt data set in R. Okay, so empty cars is a data set in R which will talk about, which will give the values about different cars, their speed, their mileage, their model, etc. Okay. So let us first explore this data set. Let us run this empty cast data set and see so what it has. See here, you can see the rows listed in the empty cast data set. So the empty cast data set is having how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 columns. One is MPG, CYL, DISP, horsepower, DRAT, WT, QSEC, etc. Okay, so and it has multiple rows. The row names are given by the name of the car models. Okay, so this data set empty cars is a data set about the cars and its various properties. So now we are going to explore about this. So suppose if we want to take the second row and third column from the empty cast data set, this is how we give it. So empty cast within square bracket we give 2, 3. It means it is going to fetch the second row and the third column. Okay, so I am fetching this. The second row third column value is 160. Okay. So the third column is nothing but the displacement, and the second row is nothing but the Mazda RX-4 WAG car. Okay, so the same thing can be achieved by giving the name of the row and the column. So here we are giving the name of the second row and the name of the third column in the empty cast within the square bracket. This also will fetch you 160. Okay, so it is same as the previous syntax. So now if you want to see the number of rows in this empty cast, you use end row function, so which will give you the number of rows. So it is showing 32. It means there are 32 rows in the empty cast data set. Okay, so and you can see the number of columns in the empty cast data set using ncol. So this is going to list you 11 columns because there are 11 columns in the empty cast data set. Okay, so a data frame can be created by the user, or it can be a data set which is available in R. So we have seen seen both the options. The first we have seen how to create the data frame by ourselves using the data.frame function, and it is also possible to use the data set available in R like mtcars, and you can access the individual columns and rows from this different data sets. Okay, suppose if you are giving double square bracket for mtcars and you are giving the name of the column HP within the double square bracket, it is going to list all the values of the column HP for the 32 rows. There are 32 rows in mtcars. So this mtcars double square bracket HP is going to list you 32 values, which are the values of the column HP. See here, you are getting all the 32 values of the column HP. So it means the horsepower of the different cars. Okay. The same thing can be achieved by giving double square bracket 4. So 4 is the number of the column HP. Okay. So you can also give by the position of the column like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay. So that also will fetch you the same thing. So, and similarly we can also use mtcars $HP. So dollar column name. So this also will fetch you the values of the column HP. Okay. So, and what this command will do, mtcars square bracket, nothing is given before the comma, and after the comma HP is given. So it means it is going to fetch you all the rows of the column HP. So it is going to fetch you all the rows of the column HP, which is similar to the previous commands. Okay. So like by giving mtcars $HP, by giving mtcars double square bracket 4, by giving mtcars double square bracket HP, etc. So this also is going to give you the same value. So you can get the values of a column for the multiple rows using all these 4 ways. Okay. So, and this is also another way. So this is the 5th way, by giving square bracket comma 4. So you are going to fetch all the rows of the 4th column. So if you are going to give mtcars of 4, what it does? It is going to display all the rows, but not horizontally but vertically. It is going to give the values of the different cars, the row numbers, the row names are displayed, the different model names of the car are the row names, and its horsepower values are displayed vertically. So this is the difference between giving mtcars square bracket comma 4 and mtcars square bracket just 4. Okay. So next you can also give mtcars CMPG comma HP. So it is going to fetch the 2 columns MPG and HP from the mtcars dataset. See here, it is fetching the 2 columns MPG and HP are the 2 columns which are fetched for all the rows of the mtcars dataset. Okay. So suppose if you are giving mtcars 6 comma, what does it mean? It means you are going to fetch the 6th row and all the columns of the 6th row. Okay. So the 6th row is Valiant. The car name is Valiant. So it is fetching all the columns for the 6th row. Okay. Suppose if you are giving mtcars C within square bracket C 6 comma 18, then comma nothing, closing the square bracket. This will fetch you the 6th and the 18th row, all the columns. So this will fetch you the 6th and the 18th row. The 6th row is the car Valiant and the 18th row is the car Fiat. Okay. So for both these cars, all the columns are fetched. Okay. So you can also use this command mtcars within quotes square bracket within quotes Valiant comma. So it means it is going to fetch the record Valiant, the values for the car Valiant. So this one is going to fetch you the values for the car Valiant and Fiat 128. Okay, so you can either mention the position of the row or the name of the row, or you can give a combination of the rows using C or you can give then a combination of the row names using C. And if you don't mention anything after the comma, it means it is going to fetch you all the columns. If you don't mention anything for the first one, the rows, all the rows will be fetched. So next let's create another data frame, so which is a combination of x, y and z. X is a vector of characters and y is a vector of numbers and z is a vector of boolean values. Okay, so all the values should be of the same length. See here, so you have 6 characters in x and 6 values in y and 6 values in z. So you can combine all this x, y and z in a data frame using data.frame function, and you can store that in a variable d. So if you display d and c, it will list the three columns x, y and z. X is having a, b, c, d, e, f, and y is having the numbers and z is having the boolean values. Okay, so now we are going to see the function subset of a data frame. We are going to fetch the subset of a data frame d, and what is the condition I am giving here? Y should be less than 10 and z, so that means z should be true. So the value of the y should be less than 10 and the value of z should be true. Okay, and I'm going to, that is the first column, and the second column is the value of the x corresponding to the value of the subset. Okay, so now I'm running this. See here, so you can fetch the value of x for which the value of y is less than 10 and the value of z is true. Okay, so where are the values which are for y, which are the values which are less than 10? 3, 4, 7 and 8. So these are the 4 rows which are having y value less than 10. And similarly z value is true for the first row, second row and the fourth row. Okay, so that is what is listed here. The a value, the x value for the first, second and the fourth rows are listed. Now, since we are giving the subset for the data frame d and the condition is y should be less than 10 and z should be true, and we are going to fetch the value of x for this condition. Okay, hope you understood how the subset function works. Okay, so next we are going to see how the transpose function, that is T function, is nothing but it is going to give you the transpose of the data frame D. So it means that it is going to convert all the columns into rows and all the rows into columns. Okay, so now before going to transpose of D, I am going to list you D. Let's see how it is looking. It is having 3 columns x, y, z and it is having 6 rows 1 to 6. Okay, so now I am running transpose of D. What happens? It is going to have 6 columns, 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 3 rows. So the columns have been converted into rows and the rows have been converted into column. This is how the transpose function works for a data frame. Okay, so next we are going to create another data frame which is a combination of x1, y1 and z1. x1 is nothing but a vector of characters and y1 is nothing but a vector of numbers, and z1 is nothing but the vector of boolean variables. I'm combining this x1, y1 and z1 in the data.frame function, and I'm going to create the data frame E. I'm displaying the data frame E. It is having 3 columns x1, y1 and z1 and it is having 6 rows. Now I'm going to bind. If I am saying C bind function, it means I am going to combine the columns of the data frames D and E. I am going to combine the columns of the data frames D and E. So D has 3 columns and E has 3 columns. I am going to combine these 6 columns, and I'll be getting 6 columns. That is X, Y, Z, X1, Y1, Z1. Okay. So this is column binding. Now I am creating another data frame F which is similar to D. So that is, it is a data frame of X, Y and Z. So F is same as D. Okay. So D has 6 rows and F has 6 rows, I'm going to row bind D and F. That is, now I'm going to combine the rows of the data frame D and F. D has 6 rows and F has 6 rows. If I'm giving R bind of D comma F, it is going to return me 12 rows. See here, you can see the 12 rows of both D and F combined together. So this is how the R bind function works. Okay. So next we have the merge function. So here we are going to merge the two data frames D and F by using a common column X. Okay. So the common column is X and we are going to combine all the columns by combining through the common column X. Okay. So this merge function is going to multiply the columns of D and F. See here, so it is fetching the X column first. The 6 rows of D and F are fetched. So X is common between D and F, so that is listed. Next, the Y value of the D data frame is listed. Then the Z value of the D data frame is listed. Then the Y value of the F data frame is listed. Then the Z value of the F data frame is listed. Okay. So this is how the merge function works. Hope it is clear. So you should be aware about the different functions like subset, how to fetch the subset of a data frame, how the transpose of a data frame works, and how the C bind, that is column bind, works, and how the R bind, that is row bind, works, and how the merge function works across the data frame which is having a common column. Okay, so this merge is mandatorily you should have a common column. The name of the column should be common between the two data frames. Okay. So next we are going to create another data frame which is a combination of X, Y and Z. X is nothing but a vector of numbers. Y is also a vector of numbers and Z is also a vector of numbers. So we are going to combine the three vectors X, Y and Z. All are numbers. So it is having 4 rows. It will be having 4 rows. That is G will be having 4 rows and 3 columns. The 3 column names are X, Y and Z and the rows are 4 rows because it is having the vectors are having 4 values. Okay. So now if I want to find the sum of the columns of the data frame G, I use the function call sums. Okay, so if I want to find the sum of the first 2 columns of the data frame G, that is I am going to sum up the columns X and Y, okay, and I am going to list down for all the rows of G. So using the function call sums. Okay, so I am running this. So here you can see the values of the column X is combined, that is 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 is 26, and similarly 15 plus 16 plus 17 plus 18 is 66. So it is going to list you the columns 1 and 2 by giving the column sums. That is, it is taking all the rows and it is summing up for the columns 1 and 2. So what this will do, call means it will find the mean of the all the 3 columns X, Y and Z, because I am giving 1, 2, 3. So it means 1, 2 and 3. For the columns 1, 2 and 3, I am going to take the values of all the rows and I am going to find the mean. So using the function call means. So this will run, you will get the mean of the X column, Y column and Z column. The mean is 6.5. Mean is nothing but the average of all the values of X. That is, you add up all the values of X and you divide by the number of rows. That is, you divide by 4 because you have 4 rows. 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 divided by 4 is 6.5. 15 plus 16 plus 17 plus 18 divided by 4 is 16.5. And 25 plus 26 plus 27 plus 28 divided by 4 is 26.5. So this is how the call means function works. Similarly, we have row sum. So for the row sum, you have to mention the row names. So we are going to take the first 3 rows and we are going to sum up for all the columns. Okay. So for all the columns, we are summing up the rows. This is using the row sums. Similarly, row means, we are going to find the mean of all the rows. That is the rows 2 to 4 we are going to take, and we are going to mean up for all the 3 columns. So this is how the different functions call sums, call means, row sums and row means works. Okay. So hope it is now useful for you. So you understood how to create a data frame and how to give names for the data frame, how to give the row names, column names, how to find the dimension names, how to find the number of rows, number of columns, dimensions, length, and create different types of data frames as per the user's wish, or use the R's data set like empty cars, and how to access each and every element of the empty cars, how to access each row, each column or set of columns or set of rows, and how to get the number of rows in a data set using n row, and how to get the number of columns in the data set using n column. And so what is this head of empty cars do? So this is going to display the first 6 rows of the data set empty cars. That is the first 6 rows, all the columns will be displayed when you give head. Okay. So, and how to access each individual column, individual row, all this we have seen. Using square bracket, double square bracket, etc. Then we have seen the function subset, then the transpose function, then we have seen cbind, rbind to combine the columns and the rows, and how to merge 2 data frames using a common column, and how to get the column sums, column means, row sums, row means, etc. So hope this video is very useful for you. Please don't miss any of my videos. So it is going to give you a complete knowledge about R programming from the basics. Even a person who is not familiar with anything before can learn this video. Please watch it regularly and please make use of it. Thank you.